either you generate the problem yourself or global situation generate the problem for you. And remember, IMF, normally, when you generate the problem for yourself, they normally don't invite you to come to them for assistance. It is when the problem, a global pandemic, and I say a Ukraine war, the country you have no control.
Okay.
Normally, they invite you to come and seek assistance, especially if they predict, say, the effect, a bit to me he put on you for a long time. A bit to me stay for a long time on you. And when it's economic crisis, the more it stays, on you, the more na organize. You have to say country in this situation, worse.
Okay.
So, until I'm invite you, say,
bruh,
all the countries having problems, I'm your analysis now. They say you can come in and seek for assistance.
Okay.
Until I'm through invitation.
Oh, okay.
So one of the factors I'm through
invitation. Okay.
And as we speak, about half of the world economic countries have applied to IMF for bailout because what has happened, purely global.
Okay.
And Ghana, but your situation, you the country nankasabe to me generate that problem. What you say?
Okay.
For example, when you look at the previous administration, there was no pandemic. But because of mismanagement and corruption, there was serious economic crisis generated by the managers of this economy. So they went there. That one, when you mismanage it, and then necessarily pandemic in the Debaya, that one you propose, as I said, the scrutinizing year. And nothing at that time, you effect to be said no. Downsize the public sector employees.
Okay.
Now don't recruit. Certain social interventions, if you like, don't do it. Because someone will say, when you're a good manager, you created the problem yourself.
And yet, global issue.
And I don't know, you bet to me, I'm not me pinu to extreme to do certain things, which will not inure to the benefit of the image. But when they identify that, what you are saying, the problem that has come is not your doing. Ghana, from 2017, all our economic indicators were showing positive.
I see.
Very good. Until this COVID-19 came in, then we started seeing the reverse. And IMF, now we are aware about that. Remember, some of my 1 billion cried and said, augmenting our internal inflows. There was a shortfall of the so you know what happened is say a global normally they invite you to send proposal so that they come in, especially also one of their reporters. I want to say one shot the global crisis now hitting everywhere. The one should be stay for a little longer.
Okay.
So what does it? Next stay a little longer. So remember that pandemic is still longer. The effect, the consequence in here much.
Okay.
Remember now, oil, crude oil prices, and it has effect, and all those things. So if you ask me, one of the reasons, I say, I'm going to invite you and say, Yamra, near nine basic assistant because there is a world pandemic. You, the countries, you have no control.
Okay.
So what I say. So come and seek for assistance. If you can find, if you don't want to come, that is fine. So an invitation. And as we speak, over 100 countries are applying for IMF.
Yes, if we listen to what I say.
Baby,
baby.
Ebi no kra no see the seriousness of this. Ebi kra sika ya grandma or so little. If you look at the amount now, so little. So you ask yourself whether this one a bet me also without problem. If you read it. And so we have 100 countries applying for it. So one invitation amodiama. And amodiama because there is pandemic. And yeah, where pandemic near ni ho. Now obi a generative problem. That one they will not invite you. One person will invite them to come in.
Okay.
But when the invitation was clear. But the question is, nobody must say, when you said pandemic, why don't you take advantage of it? Because especially if it is you are in the pandemic period, and as a woman, your global crisis more. When they invite you to come, their negotiation skills, and I say certain kind of control now with the man, a bit lighter.
Okay. Because
we already now, who are pandemic, they are aware say, your citizens in the country, they are suffering.
Okay.
Already. What I say, and a lot of things. Into normally they are softer. Another thing that we trigger and say is about our physical space. To be honest, this pandemic has destroyed our physical space. It has deteriorated it. In the sense that one, the revenue that we expect to consistently after the pandemic, meanwhile, our expenditure has swallowed up. Because we need to do more. So once your revenue is keep on falling, the expenditure so in the our physical space, deteriorating. So if you look at this, and now as we speak, interest rate in Guano, it takes about 40% of our revenue. A brook crisis, them say is growing, say around 50 to 60%. So you generate, let's say, 40 billion and now 45 billion, and 30 billion is going to be used to pay interest.
This is Kanasa.
Asa, one, our revenue levels, when we project because of the pandemic in India, and our expenditure also as well go up. Into your physical condition, editorial, and nothing about we or the approach be by say, look, to do that. Then our revenue levels, let's do something about it. Okay. So, because of the physical problem, our physical standing, and also I trigger that. When we go ahead with the further questions, let's bring into more detail.
All right.
Another thing, so a man, necessary our CD depreciation.
It's not a CD now. Okay.
Makatro say, near learning or bookum, and the cost depreciation of the CD. That phenomenon, it has changed. With the canker that is driving the CD now, a more serious than the normal thing. Let's increase production, let's export more, and all those things. Look, and yes, Sanya man, 21 CD no, and what they know from. And I will see. The city now what they now a war from no. The effect in the mamincho effect in. Supposing champion, see our debt levels in terms of dollars, remember say most of the loans ukoje manoni. So your government say your friend euro bonds until you pay the money in foreign currency. Now, supposing your debt in now your 45 billion. Your calculation, mommy. Supposing your debt 45 billion dollars.
Okay, $45 billion.
The time you are attracting na CD, you find say 6.5. So convert 45 billion by 6.5, and let's see how much you get in terms of CD. Your debt,
Okay.
So 45 would have 45 times 6.5.
Yeah.
What is it?
45 times 6.5.
How much is it? 292.5 billion. 0.5 billion.
Yes.
Now, suppose they say, Yankwaji being $45 billion. But now, CD now follow. CD is 7.8, and I would emphasize 7.2. Remember that. When you are going to pay, you used to see this now. Now I depreciate 7.2. So now multiply 45 billion again by 7.2.
45 billion.
45 times 7.2.
And the amount 324.
324. Have you seen that? Oh, that's in the cost. Meanwhile,
because of cedi na ho de na
falling. Bank of Ghana the report about almost stating in current cedi
you know.
And you baba say can do 350 no opposition afa. So within 2 months ya no hwe e ka no niam akobo aka ho. Meanwhile na your depreciation na ya. 320 292 ni free
292. Otifrim ebenya 32
billion abeka. Why try beka saban ko bobo.
Is because of the dollar cedi.
Very good.
This is
so serious. The question is that how do you stabilize it? Yeah? In terms of a kaya bon one home say you share the component in terms of dollars to lobogu and this bobisia MPP. Look, when President Kufo was living, not dollar any cedi here 1:1. And our debt levels now 90 billion. 90 billion. Now we changing into dollars and $9 billion because that dollar needs to be 1:1. But how much shifted the time they were living? Now you can hear $35 million. $35 million. But that time, not CDN is about 4.1. So if you multiply about this $35 million by 4.1 or 4, I know unya. If you multiply, at time I end this economy, near debt in terms of cities, now 135.
Okay.
Billion. Not dollar is around 4.
Okay. Okay. And to be multiply 135 by
4.
Okay. And
I think it's little about 4. But what they multiply here?
540.
No. In terms of not dollar no. 4 cedis. 4
cedi per
dollar you multiply by 35 billion. So 35 multiplied by 4.
Okay. 35 by 4. Oh.
Yes.
And November 140.
140?
Yes.
It? Yes. So not dollar a little over 4. Where the iron 4.
Okay.
And no debt now in terms of cedi now 122 billion. But meanwhile in terms of dollars now about 135 billion. And I buy now in terms of dollars, we're shooting from 135 billion to 145 billion. That is about a boy in terms of dollars. It's not 10 billion.
10 billion.
But on if 9 billion to 35, subtract 35, subtract 9 billion. Dollars are more.
Connect 35.
35. And number 2 from the Kufo 9
to 35 minus 9. And quite 26.
Into 26. I'm 26 billion dollars. And I buy the 10 per account. You see, I have number around 40 billion, 45 billion going to 50 billion.
Because of the cedi depreciation.
Depreciation.
Affected.
And one Trabakas are buying Bosian or Bosso. Now you cedi depreciation. Over the years, on board Bessia. But anytime cedi never for Libya, your debt never Quasoro. What the opera, Ma Enda was 45 billion on Manenda Ho. Now dollar into 10 cedis is to $1. Multiply 45 billion dollars by 10. Ubon say you can do 450 billion. Ubeka say abai sisi ababoka now ni anam 380 sisi akodi 5 billion. Na amako trankan tra. So problem there bani na most of it is about the depreciation of the city because interest na ye tuano in terms of dollars, you're converting into cedis, champion. You see, can I in terms of revenue cedis, and also say, I see. So one, the depreciation of the city is also worsening our situation. Of course, one will say, then it comes to management of the economy. But you see, depreciation of the city, sometimes yes, so global pandemic, it affects your city, and especially when you have opposition that has been pinned to the extreme, say, look, government or you be frustrating. It's very, very dangerous. or be frustrating, especially for this. Look, if they had proved the budget somewhere in December, and in December, most of it, a lot of people tap on foreign currency. Now they are importing Yama. So there is going to be pressure on dollars. Anything you prepare dollar budget area so that you approve and now buy it to me. I go up a forest, not their big.
And so, since
that 6 months down the deadline, and send you approve. So what is it?
So, Mame, you're a Christian, don't call anything come on the issue of IMF. There are a lot of questions to be asked about this. Now, I feel I join ahead in 2 television Monday's edition of the Dialogue Show. So, and anything come on IMF, I invite you Wednesday, Umeba Kruma, and your person who now tear Sibia for feeding to her, may call Agyapong from Krato about Meba. And you're a Christian, don't call about us. Yes, I'm Kwaba Bio de Oba Net 2 Television, 4th of July 2022, Mondays of Ghana's biggest and most highly respected political, social, and current affairs talk show. So, and our here, Christian Donko IMF, the brouhaha about IMF, the opposition element, the NDC, jumping into it. Mokasa, oh, in Ayabro Pepe, Apetition Guinness, so in Ayabro Pepe. One of the triggers, animal.
Very good.
We are honoring TC for
then. Another one, you had said, over the years, some people want equalization.
Okay.
Because government can say, IMF, no, conditionality, some of them are not worsening Ghana situation. And it was a conversation, no, be a IMF editorial, and indeed, like I said, from the beginning, if you listen to me, because pandemic, the country generated one and your global generated one. In the case of NDC one, some mismanagement in the economy and getting into that one. What does it? And I'm probably into doing so. Doing so came in to collapse private businesses. Meanwhile, your government and also the IMF, want to mean in fact, Nippon public sector. In the public sector, I am funny, but not private sector, not so good because of doing so. And so there was a huge, serious problem because of the IMF effect. And I remember to say, all the social intervention, most of them are more free. That result in USA nursing training allowance near the
council.
Even government supplies to government schools in the only her and even vice president here or to me mamu talk. Nini restrictions. And now expectation is then let us also yanye the day na enko for equalization.
Oh, I see.
And also trigger a pattern now nipa na ya ho. Ne effort bi aba ni be ye bia no ya appreciate. Ni obeye bia me bre. Ni obeye papa bi and is in order V8 mo pa. Okwa demonstration no unim. Am ko park o mu V8 ayi na wo V8 ni bi pa masa. I Benz pa and me who and I'm saying Jesus is Benz and me we registered 22 and wa park and watch that I say just demonstration yeah bro as for near now what do na ha bra wo bre no abegina ho yeah bro so and inability so say you be accepted the effort of the government and day and your bro ni na goes into that. Then come and say, look, nya ye bia no effort ye bia na aka trom say enya IMF ngwan a solution to the problem. Ya can but opposition insists say go to IMF. Everything is about IMF. No be a change. The government will say that look, the IMF is there. What is there? Okay, let me exploit it. Say what is there for us?
Okay.
Is the question going? Is it going to solve our problem? So that's it. And to one, inability to accept and as to appreciate government effort, and the fact that we want equalization also precipitated that. Go to there. We are near. You said that for experts. People that call themselves, me, I don't call them experts. It's just strategists.
Okay.
Say, me chadia or university, mami me can ya no bien say, money is crashing. So ni na ka ho and a cop with that so and so when there is much complaints so to me triggers so like I said all this come together and eat into the government decision to say that look let's go and then exploit that option and see already the IMF being a finance body while invited say we are in the pandemic period. Most of the countries, you have challenges, economic challenges. Our doors are open. We have the funding. Okay. You have the funding. So come and seek for our assistance. The invitation they are giving to you, they were aware, say, a global pandemic in AC. And almost what predictions are going to try to stay for a long time. And here is the situation, your predictions in terms of revenue and in terms of your expenditure, so costly. And people keep on complaining. All your no price cost cry, and they assess situation no cry. And to see a invite to what remember so say a member. And I will see IMF so Ankasano. Remember say a year na ye sika na de koto. IMF anya obina. A individual be na konya ni sika bi fi baby na ode say braba gi bisi on. A member countries na contribute to every year you try your sika. Now yes, financial support. Every country be no sika ko. Into at the end of the day, they will tell us that look, we are in the period that is pandemic. Come for soft loans, not fire. But I'm not for thinking about the conditions, And I may person me so going forward, So if there is global pandemic, now IMF will not crack aside there to me say there is a problem with the country, the whole world. No invite here. And you are not negotiations, a bit softer than say one can say what generating problem internally. You have opportunity to rule this country. You took nice country in shape from President Akufo. First day I'm buy I'm the 1.2 million and new team. And then okay, International Conference Center. Near the ano. Ya project tobacco project tobacco pe. I was second set me yes second touching. They were seeing $255 million. Not their charging Ghana for. Meanwhile, the same money, 3 years down the line, because inflation, grammar prices are from. President Anado, an interchange complex than near Usi, you know, or the 70 million is.
Oh.
What is 70 million? Only free 25 million.
250 more.
250 more. It's about $180 million. Nipa de good bottomity. Nipa to me, I mismanage. That is $72 million, not that software. And your friend said, a human generated, manager generated problem.
Internally.
And not the core IMF. You have more conditionalities. Because one person, when you're prudent in your expenditure.
Oh, okay.
And I have problem with do so. No, be the salary at the double. And that is human generated problem. Besides, about we trade double salary. Me say MPP tuya nipa ba ko double salary and let me see that. So, and these are the things that triggered going to the IMF. One, an invitation from them. Say, you die our crisis. You have the option. About 100 countries now apply. If you look at even the allocation, very, very small, but Obefan is with a set interest payment, physical space deteriorating because of interest payment. See the need follow, and then also inability to appreciate the effort of the government.
Okay.
Using people to strategically speak badly about the state. Oh, who in cry, someone in Kranoka. And when they say it and hit people, then you say, let me exploit that option and see. It's the question. It's a matter of time.
Okay.
Whether it will solve our problem. And none of the aspect.
Okay.
The one of the society pay dangerous.
Before the corner, I mentioned production team at Daroma.
Good.
The young Krobia, Omakwa M4, Sir Omakwa can be. And me person Ghana for her and pay. Your extended credit facility.
Yes.
Through our more and your short-term liquidity line.
Yeah.
And also country back open a was our list.
Yeah.
And your flexible credit line.
Yeah.
And also in Groom Krubi was
strong, flexible. And the countries, you know, say if the tenant you the whole world pandemic, that one that is they put you at the flexible because we need to flexible on you. Because already you have a problem and you now generate. So one will generate problem, they will be hard on you. Because I explained it earlier.
Yeah.
Good, let's go ahead.
If you standby arrangement, country was Senegal. Aqua Jessica, Senegal is Kakomoje, $302,000.
Where is car?
$302,000. In this cabia.
Where is car? But you also
your extended arrangements.
Yeah.
The members are also Argentina.
Yes.
Barbados.
Yes.
Cameroon.
Yes.
Costa Rica. Ecuador. Equatorial Guinea. Ethiopia. Gabon. Jordan. Kenya. Moldova. Pakistan.
Yeah.
Any Seychelles.
Yes.
Omunina Kwakwaje. Ebisika Waje. Obi there $74,000.
Yes.
Obi there $472,000. The waji highest room, because in India super Pakistan. Pakistan had 4 million.
Yes.
And about console 1 million. And half a country back console Ecuador so I 4 million.
Yes. And the question will be so say. In this way, if they give you, let's say, even if they give you $500 million, and when I don't looking at our situation.
Yeah, maybe
as you'll be getting 4 million now.
Yeah,
and you'll be less than 100,000.
Yeah,
that's what
flexible credit line for more so Colombia, Mexico, and Peru. Almost Aquajibi. Obidia Oje, 4 million. Any other day. And I war Panama.
Yeah.
Also Chile. In the countries are more good standards in your
IMF. IMF and your batting. What Ghana for my so critical bad is say the fighter my mama koye
and the buy
I'm the buy and no na mama for slow IMF now. And can you say Sanka one day went in and I'm to me here good negotiation and I won. Senka Yakas, okay, Minko for a lot more people come from University of Jumanti, employment in the Mumway and Amun from near. And I need to me Fadipa. One, and a nursing training allowance, young you to me much talk on near dear near year. I come up for Franca, you have and some number. But the effect, we felt it more than even Sikania demand. Sikania demand, what I even put at the Bashar Kono, another thing.
Pakistan, Islamic Republic, Cameroon,
yes.
Central African Republic, Chad,
yeah.
Congo, Democratic Republic, and Gambia, Kenya, Liberia, Madagascar, Mali, Mozambique,
okay.
Niger, Sao Tome and Principe, Sierra Leone, Somalia, Sudan, Uganda.
And teacher me say Africa can't be any more.
Obiao. That is Obia IMF.
And I also a funding. Ghana every year tax in the Bitria as a member. I am the tour. This is Ghana Wabuano. And I must say Yamra, Niembe Siki assistance. And if you tell me the IMF no, and you're batting, but because of the effect we have felt in the past. Any bad conditionalities are previous administration having mismanaged the economy. I'm the coin. And then you already say yes or no. I know a man of my way. Your IMF didn't cry because say if graduates will come now to me from public sector. Meanwhile, you do also good private sector. Now see your huge a graduate base a goofy. Then what the question is IMF. Am I going to witness the same thing? But enemy church on my say I have two scenarios. If you generate the problem yourself. Like they did it now, I know they are going to be hard on you. But say a pandemic, no more invited say, look, the world we are all going through crisis. They are aware about your social intervention. Because at the end of the day, respite, Bibia, Ebama won't call from my house. And he said, Min call for a mammy or two idea on your second trying to buy school fees. And you're not make the phrase as now here. Then, if I am, if we are going to say, remove it, then are you going to help
me to pay?
You help me, and me, Brennan, and I say, who question your situation? That is it.
No, before question, what's the difference between IMF, Sika, any other loan? Difference
I want to say one interest rate, you know, a year now for IMF, you know, very low.
Oh, okay.
Very low. And normally, you know, they give you a long time period to pay.
Okay.
But of course, you bet me a loan, be bet mama a long time. But how much you know? There is always an interest in it. Until it gives you opportunity to pay less interest. Meanwhile, so we have a long term to pay. Okay. And here now won't really effect any papa. And only difference a woman. So what I say. But then almost once I interest lose your loan, it comes with the conditionalities. Because at the end of the day, they expect you to pay the money back to them. That's where their restrictions come. So their restriction is how do I get my money back?
Okay.
It is there that they will tell you, let's go to the next, and that's what answers that.
What are the possible directions expected to come from IMF? Or directions being
and so what is the direction? Now that they have given you loan with small interest and then with that long period, the question is that funding, a cumulative funding from the member countries, the whole world, there will be a member, you'll be the assistant. And it's a assistant that they're going to make sure say you put in certain controls. When you seek back now, so say opiso pebia with me and your bidia man. At a bank ya who could you bank loan or make sure say you pay it back. And then two, when you pay it back, no, so I did not obisua or no so be a Juman on Sababaji. But if the loan goes, now say a ma. Then obey then obi oba for so money be into one they are going to give you a certain direction as to how to get the money back. And one of the direction I mean is one, you have to enhance your revenue internally generated. I said we yankai say to close the physical gap. It's about putting in programs to increase or to shore up your revenue level. And two, Obakacho said be prudent and minimize your expenditure. So you're two legs. Raising your revenue and minimize your expenditure. your 2 legs. And the Yambraha enhancing revenue. As somewhere yankai. Because government news says still. Say even if I take the country to IMF, the direction they will give me one is how do you increase your revenue? And see, it was a situation I said that let me hold on with IMF. But where you go that you know direction. And then Obaka said, young be being fire revenue increase. And the government said, then let me do something about it. So first you look at your existing taxes. It's what that. No one said the existing taxes, am I going to increase it to get more? Or there are other areas main type and revenue between flower until let me resort to. So here 2 things. You look at already tax, so whether you can increase it and do something about it. And here is the situation existing as a mini corporate tax. Champion, corporate tax has been 25% of our company profit. The question is that 25 no. And you say you before revenue, how there can you go and increase corporate tax to what 30%? Your intention is that if you increase that, the cost of running the company will be very high. One job will be 2 and the corporate tax is not a variable you can gamble with it.
Okay.
The best thing if you want to do is to reduce it. And already we income level, so how can you reduce it? And you can also increase it. And so it has been 25% for a long time. But the question is, how many companies pay? As an auditor, champion, me can't revelation, me reveal near much or ha. Look, people intentionally prepare the account towards loss.
Intentionally.
When you're profiting or shut